Recently, an anti-white propaganda rag in the state of Maine found themselves getting the exact same treatment that they have been gleefully handing out unimpeded for years. A free publication called The Mainer that was created by a non-Mainer, Chris Busby, who along with his partners and known pedophiles Crash Berry and former state legislator Andrew O'Brien are members of Antifa, a communist domestic terrorist hate group with ties to the pro-pedophilia organization NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association. The mission of this publication is to shut down any political speech that opposes the ethnic cleansing of New England, as well as to libel any political candidate that dares to put Mainers first. They have written countless hit pieces on politicians, local businesses, and even private individuals. Anyone that dares step out of line with the leftist agenda. Everyone who is not with them is a Nazi in their eyes, and they have no concern over who or how many people they hurt. In November, the magazine began retweeting conversations they were having with high-ranking officials at Facebook. The magazine had successfully got people's comments deleted that they did not like. Profiles of people that opposed the Islamification of Maine were also deleted, as well as whole Facebook groups were removed, all of which by the Facebook staff at the behest of the activist running this rag. This was cheered and applauded by their anti-free speech followers on Twitter and Facebook. When called out on the fact that this publication was deliberately doing whatever it could to silence opposition, to infringe on people's free speech, their drooling readers responded with, "Facebook is a private business. They can do whatever they want, and hate speech is not free speech." To illustrate what the anti-whites at this rag do, 2 months ago they published a 2-page hit piece wherein they proudly admitted they stalked the owners of a gun store for months. Claiming investigative journalism, they entered the store posing as customers and eavesdropped on conversations the owner was having with other customers. Conversations which they then published. Apparently what they caught was not good enough to be able to say they were racist, as they had to make up a few quotes to really spice it up. They even had the audacity to mock the store owner's wife for her inability to have children. Even their dog was not spared ridicule. All this was unbeknown to the gun shop owners until after people had called the shop and tipped them off. This anti-white rag also employs a black supremacist as a contributor who writes articles about how much he hates white people. Yet he chooses to live in Maine, a state that is 97% white. According to the SPLC's hate index, black supremacists are the largest hate group in America, with not only the most membership of groups, twice as many as all the white nationalist groups combined, but also the highest membership per group than their counterparts. In one article, he wrote about a fictitious run-in with an elderly Jewish man, which he calls white in the article, and expresses his desire to assault him because according to him, the old, quote, white man said the N-word. Currently, in New York, violent hate crimes perpetrated by blacks against the Jewish community have skyrocketed, so a black man boasting in his own article about how much he wanted to assault one is pretty telling. All seemed well as they were performing victory dances, celebrating the deplatforming of political opponents and individuals, but then something happened that ruined their celebration. The following morning, after their publication hit the racks, a Jew walked into a supermarket called Hannaford's, saw the cover of the issue. It featured a large black swastika made out of the Facebook logo, and in big bold letters it read, "Hate Book." This enraged the Jew, and he called the manager and demanded the magazines be removed immediately. You see, all of the successful harassment, defamation, and libel the anti-whites at this magazine had enjoyed for so long had made them egotistical. They began to believe they were above the law, that they were the deciders of what hate speech is and is not. But in all of that bashing the fash, they forgot the cardinal rule: you never offend the Jews. The supermarket pulled all the copies of the newspaper off the rack. Upon getting home, the Jewish man called the main office of the supermarket and lodged an official complaint that the cover art was making light of the Holocaust for political rhetoric, just as a gun-toting patriot would get mad at someone altering the US flag. So the Jew gets offended if you spoof a swastika. He also complained that the magazine was laden with hate speech and anti-Semitism. The director of the store chain looked over the magazine himself and was appalled by the articles. He was shocked by how hateful they were written in a cover-to-cover race-bashing stream of vulgarities and communist symbolism. he immediately sent out a notice to the entire chain to remove all the magazines from all of the stores. And what do you think happened? The magazine staff went insane. Cries of righteous indignation could be heard from miles away. "They banned us," they cried. The magazine staff immediately took to social media and put the supermarket chain on blast, crying that their First Amendment rights had been violated. How dare they do this to us? Some of their readers even suggested to them to sue the chain. The anti-whites at the rag claim that they are being banned for, quote, exposing hate speech. But this is just them doing what they do natural. Twist the truth. The truth is, they were banned for hate speech and anti-Semitism. Full stop. And one should fully expect that once the rage propagates throughout the Jewish authorities, more businesses carrying this rag will begin following suit. I, for one, am enjoying this greatly. Unlike some on the right who would defend this rag's freedom of speech, I turn to one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, who once said, "They who would give up an essential liberty for temporary security deserve neither liberty or security." In my opinion, anyone who opposes free speech deserves no free speech. And all I have to say to the lying, hate-filled anti-whites at this magazine is, the First Amendment only means the government cannot censor you. Hannaford's is a private business and can do whatever they want. Besides, hate speech is not free speech. But after getting away with your own hate speech against white people for so long, it's refreshing that you were brought down because you were stupid enough to publish the very things you demanded be removed from the public eye. Ponder these words as you follow me on all social networks in the description. And remember, watch from the shadows and see the truth.